2 weeks before he leaves office, President Trump has signed an executive order to ban transactions with 8 Chinese apps. Those targeted include Ant Group's Alipay and Tencent's WeChat Pay, China's top 2 mobile payment software providers. Trump says the apps have access to sensitive data and threaten national security, foreign policy and the economy. China says the US government is abusing its power. Well, Rich Turrin is an independent fintech and AI consultant based in Shanghai. I asked him what was going on.
I think the big issue here is that this is a transition between the Trump and the Biden administration. And what Trump is doing is he's basically laying a minefield for Biden. There is no practical way that this new executive order is going to stand. The prior executive orders banning TikTok and WeChat are locked in the courts and have not been upheld yet. So what's really happening here is this is a political minefield being laid so that when these laws are revoked, Trump and others can say, look, Joe Biden is soft on China. And that's a very cynical and perhaps sad thing to say, but I fear that it's true.
In practical terms, what impact on the companies involved is this likely to have? I mean, surely the United States isn't a significant market for these products anyway.
That's absolutely true. The United States has very few actual users of these payment apps, Alipay and WeChat Pay. So the stated reason for the ban, which was to prevent the Chinese government from monitoring federal employees, the likelihood that federal employees have these apps is very low. Should they have these apps and the administration wants to cancel federal employees' use of the apps, that might be something that would be tenable. But to blanket restrict all Americans' use of these apps is an absurdity. But we have to really look elsewhere. Because as we saw with the WeChat ban, American companies operating in China, Nike, Apple, everybody's favorite Disney, all of these companies use WeChat Pay and Alipay to sell their products. So if the Trump ban on these payment apps includes all of the foreign operation of American companies, this is absolutely disastrous for American companies operating in China.
Rich, is there a broader context here? I mean, I wonder, could this be framed in a wider crackdown on big tech, not just political disputes between China and the United States?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we're all seeing the crackdown on big tech in the EU, the US, and in China. So it's rare that these 3 places all agree on one thing, and they all agree right now that antitrust and big tech is an issue. However, these bans on the payment apps are really not antitrust issues. They're a little bit different. These are really national security issues, or better put, a stretch of national security issues, in that they try to make America safer. Now, the important thing, there are a couple of important points to make here. Within the new ban announcement, there is no proof or allegation that the apps are leaking data to the Chinese government. The claim is that the apps could, in fact, leak data. So let's make it clear. There's no actual proof that these apps are, in fact, leaking data.